First Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua made foolish the wisdom of this world? First Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 6. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor the prince of this world that come to naught. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Now, in the beginning of this lesson, I read two scriptures about the wisdom of this world. You know, it being foolish with the Most High, right? And that the Most High was going to bring it to naught. And this is what you're seeing in Babylon the Great. When you have a conversation with a person in this country, it doesn't go very far. You can't have an intellectual conversation with most of the people in this country. People are under mind control, as you see this this caption in this video right here, this little clip. You know, everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's going the same way, going off a cliff. You know, as a flock of sheep, right? A flock of goats. One go off the cliff, the other one follows, right? This strong delusion by way of the wine, aka the philosophies and the ideologies that Babylon the Great promote and push out, has the inhabitants of it drunk. From the young even into the old. You still got, you know, people in church that don't know who they are, still calling on the name Jesus. You got people on the earth that don't know 2 + 2, right? Don't know how to read. But you call this a great nation. You call this the #1 powerhouse of the earth, Babylon the Great. This place is a joke, man. This place is a joke, and it is about to be flatlined by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Right? So let me read this again. 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 20. It says, where are the wise? Right? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world, man? Who's gonna stand up for this world, Babylon, and convince you that this is heaven? This is the place to be, right? It says, have not the Most High power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, made foolish the wisdom of this world? And the Lord has made this wisdom foolish, man. You speak about anything according to this world, the religions of the world, the ideologies, the mindset, the way people think, you wind up confounded, right? The Lord's wisdom, that stands. The Holy Bible, that stands. That wisdom supersedes every so-called wisdom that you can ever come out with, right? The Lord's word supersedes everything. So let's play this. You know, I ran it enough. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua willing, the elect is edified. Check out how bugged out this place is, man. Check it out.
You want to know what's wrong with the world? Look at all these hundreds of thousands of people at a store just acting like everything is normal.
Educators, poets, men of ladders.
Salaki, I don't know what just happened, man. This is crazy. Check this out. I'm gonna play it over. Salakia. Satan, man. All right.
You want to know what's wrong with the world? Look at all these hundreds of thousands of people at a store just acting like everything is normal, although there's smoke everywhere. The sun is being blocked. We're inhaling toxins. Everybody's just acting like everything is normal. Nobody's rushing. Nobody's coming together. Humans aren't saying, hey, what's wrong? Even though it smells like straight plastic out here, everybody's just acting like everything is just normal, when nothing is normal at all. Look at the sun right there.
Please read this sentence for me. The suffocated. Dogs. Sophisticated. Discipline. Maintain a calm denominator.
The sophisticated discipline. The sophisticated discipline.
Oh, I wear glasses, baby, so I can't read it even if I want to.
The deity had a something of the impending cataclysmic event.
Read the index card. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were exaggerated, but some were gauche. What does that mean? You tell me. I don't know. I'm a dumbass. I was out of high school. Read the index card.
The dog's unwavering loyalty. No, don't even.
Read the index card.
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary but somewhat
What does it mean?
a gooch.
No, what's the sentence mean? Read the index card.
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary, out somewhat gauche.
And what they should do right then and there, if they don't understand the word, they should have pulled out the phone and say, well, I never heard that word before. Let me look it up real quick so that way I can get a better understanding of what it's saying. But no, look at how they're dressed, though. Everybody's in the party, lifestyle and the hookup culture and all that bullshit, but they can't even read a damn sentence, man. Shows you that, these people, even though they may physically be looked upon as grown, they're little kids, man. They have the mindset of a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, man.
Read the index card.
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary but somewhat gouache.
What does that mean?
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary but somewhat gouache. What that means?
Okay. Read the index card.
Hold on, bro. Do you even know what this shit says? Her and the varying dedication became the epitome of perseverance and integrity.
Read the index card.
The gradual determination of the infatuated required I know the word.
But these people could tell you the new song coming out that Cardi B is singing, that bullshit ass drill rap. They know every goddamn word to these BS rap songs, and they can tell you, how to count up, how to cut up an ounce of cocaine, or how to roll some weed, how to go get some Henny and give you the distance from where they live to go get some Henny, man. This place is through, man. And the inhabitants of it.
Straight. Nah, bro, what the substantial rehabilitation effects.
Read the index card.
The vegetarian identified as an unusual aggressive parasitic infestation.
Read the index card.
Remarkably considerate to encounter promoted considerable suspicion.
We're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people of lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want. So, you can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending so many hundreds of millions of dollars of propaganda money to dumb down society.
They don't want you to think. They want you to obey. The modern school system wasn't designed by educators. It was built by industrialists. Rockefeller was clear.
I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers.
Schools are factory simulators. The bell rings, you move. The uniform erases your identity. The test rewards repetition, not intuition. Take your creative spark and cage it within an ego that craves validation and grades. Because a man with a degree is an employee. But a man aware of his divinity is ungovernable. The matrix starts in the classroom, but the code to exit is already within you. Are you ready to unlearn the programming?
It pays to be ignorant.
Between 1896 and 1920, a small number of powerful industrialists, together with their private foundations, spent more money on mass force schooling than the government did. Indeed, Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller together spent more money than the government did on schooling. If you want to know the motives of this project, you need only read the first public mission statement of Rockefeller's General Education Board that was printed in its first report to well-wishers, issued in 1906. People yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hands.
And this is crazy because the whole school system was set up by these devils, man. So when you got, our people happily, putting our children, because listen, man, how could these devils teach you if they don't know how to treat you? If they hate you, how can they, care about you enough to teach you how to destroy them? They're not going to do that, man. They're not going to make you smart. make you to think. They're gonna leave you on a certain level, spiritually, mentally, right? So that way you're not able to excel. Because these devils, they know the children of Israel are the greatest people on earth, right? The elites of these devils, they know who we are, man. Right? They know who we are. All these old devils, man, they all going into slavery, man. Every last one of them. The Lord is going to put each one of these devils in chains, man. They're all going in chains. Right? So it says people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hands. Yeah, so people love to be docile. They would, like we always say in camp, man. You give them a circus, bread and circus, give them some liquor, some weed, some entertainment, and they good, man. Right? It's crazy, man. This whole educational system, this whole system is fraud, is bullshit, man. And the Lord is going to destroy this whole setup. This whole kingdom is about to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Present education conventions of intellectual and character education fade from their minds, and unhampered by tradition, we work our own will. We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or men of science. We have not to raise up from them authors, educators, poets, men of letters. We shall not search for artists, painters, musicians, lawyers, doctors, preachers, politicians, statesmen, of which we have an ample supply. The task is simple. We will organize children and teach them in a perfect way the things their fathers and mothers are doing in an imperfect way. The real purpose of modern schooling was announced by Edward Ross of the University of Wisconsin in the same year that was written. Ross is generally considered one of the three founders of the 20th century discipline called sociology. And in a book bluntly called Social Control, Ross wrote, I'll quote directly, "Plans are underway to replace family, church, and community with propaganda, education, and mass media. People," he informed his readers, "are only little plastic lumps of dough." Another insider of modern schooling, H.H. Goddard, chairman of the psychology department at Princeton, called government schooling
all devils, man. All devils.
In 1920, quote, "the perfect organization of the hive." Goddard wrote that standardized testing was to cause the lower classes to confront their biological inferiority, sort of like wearing a dunce cap.
You're saying they're brainwashing. Okay, you're saying these people that are experts in brainwashing is using the Department of Education to brainwash our children.
Yes.
What are they after? Why are they doing it?
Well, if you want to move a country from a free individualistic economy,
which we have.
Yes, or had.
Or had, okay.
To a planned economy, you have to do it through the schools. You have to dumb down and brainwash, change the attitudes and values. You have to completely, social engineering has to go on constantly. And many teachers know what I'm talking about. And people are going to say, well, when did this start? And who on earth ever did this? Why would a plan like that be allowed to be carried out?
That's right.
Well, then you have to go back to 1934, which I will do, and we have to go to the three-pronged fork, okay? So I do think that the watershed year, although you can go back to the early part of the century when the Rockefeller Foundation and the Carnegie Corporation were deeply involved in education, and that it was decided then that Carnegie would deal with the international part and Rockefeller domestic. But then we moved on to 1934, and this was after World War I. And there were the educators were, many of them, going back and forth to Russia very admiring of the new system in Russia, the communistic system. And they wanted to put it in here in the United States. And so the Carnegie Corporation, that had always been involved in, trying to get us into world government after the League of Nations and all in 1917, they still had this goal. And of course, world government will be communism. I mean, it's really international socialism. That's what Lenin called it. So they've always wanted this. And
the Department of Education today is going along with
yes,
that?
absolutely. Yes. And so in 1934, the Carnegie Corporation produced, it took 4 years, they commissioned the American Historical Association to put together a study of the social studies. And they came up with lots of volumes, but I have one little volume, Conclusions and Recommendations for the Social Studies. And basically that little one is an original book. I wish I brought it with me. Too bad. But I don't even dare let it out of the house. It's so important. It called for changing the United States through the schools from a free individualistic economy to a socialist, collectivized, planned economy in the New World Order.
It says that in the...
And that's what they seek to do. That's their bread and butter, man, the NWO. And the Lord is going to allow them to get to a certain point, and then he going to drop them, man. This is what they are unable to see, because they are the children of darkness and evil. Right? These devils, they know the Most High exists. They know this. This is Psalms 10:1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Because that's what we in, man. We are in times of trouble. So, this is David. He asking the Lord these things. Verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. How did he persecute the poor? Through the system, man. Whether it's the medical system, the law enforcement, the educational system, right? The credit system, all that stuff, man, is all to enslave you, man, and leave you in a dumbed down state. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And that's what's going to happen, man. The traps that they set up, they're going to get caught in them, man. Right? They are going to get caught up in it. Verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires. You see how proud these devils are speaking, man? Yeah, if you do this, they'll react to this. If you do that, yeah, they'll have no choice but to accept that, It says, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua abhorreth, meaning hates. The Lord hates these devils, man, with a perfect hatred. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them, man. And they're so proud, they think nobody can take them down. Nobody's going to stop the New World Order. We're going to do what we want to do, man. We're going to complete our agenda 2030. Nobody's going to stop us, man. That's how these devils think. Right?
Book. Yes.
And that book was written when?
In 1934.
By who?
It was the Carnegie Corporation paid for it. The American Historical Association put it together. And
can people get that book in the library?
No, they can't. But I have quotes in my book, from it. But from that time on, Carnegie Corporation consistently, without any hesitation whatsoever, didn't run into any obstruction, poured its money, its tax-exempt money, which we make possible for them to have, into changing American education. They funded let's go on to the 1945. deeply involved. Alger Hiss was deeply involved with the Carnegie Corporation. He was a accused Soviet agent. They didn't get him on it, but they got him on libel. But most people do think that Alger Hiss was a Soviet agent. He was Carnegie. And they were very instrumental in getting the Elementary and Secondary Education Act passed, which, as I said before, changed education from knowledge, content-based, academic, to performance-based behavior. And from that time on, because that was necessary for what we're looking at now with school to work agenda is the planned economy is performance-based.
So they're training workers.
They're training
not
little
thinkers,
worker
not
bees.
leaders.
Exactly. So Carnegie, after that study, then we went to the world. We went into the United Nations, which of course was essential, and then at that time you had a general, Buck Chisholm, a Canadian general psychiatrist, who was a very close friend of Alger Hiss's, and he gave a speech in 1945 to the World Health Organization, which basically recommended getting rid of the conscience.
Wow.
Yes. And he said we would do it through the schools. We would retrain the teachers to be little psychiatrists. And what happened was that the average American educator at that time was not about, in 1945, to even listen to something like that.
Right.
And so nothing happened until the watershed year, again, another watershed year, 1965, when the Elementary and Secondary Education Act passed, and we moved then from academics to behavior change. And the behavior science teacher education program was funded.
But how did Congress allow that to happen?
Well, you'll see in the book, John Ashbrook, who died, unfortunately, Congressman Ashbrook, who I dedicated the book to, he spelled it all out. He told the whole Congress exactly what it was. He said it is an international system they're looking at. They're going to change the behavior of the children. They're going to change the teachers' training. They're going to do everything. He told them everything.
And they didn't believe him?
No, they just, well, you know what goes on.
Yes,
it's still going on, right? So anyway, they passed that in 1965. The teachers were retrained. All of these horrible programs, right?
Mm-hmm.
By 1968, the money had gone into all of these programs to get rid of the conscience, basically. Drug ed, all these programs, parents, really, when you see education hanging on the end of drug education, sex education, critical thinking education, red flag. You don't have reading education, writing education, math education, or we didn't used to. When you see education hanging on the end of something, except for driver's ed, which I think is probably pretty neutral, that means watch it. Because those programs, I've never seen one of those programs that was based on absolutes, right and wrong.
But the parents of the children today have gone through that program. So
Yes.
they've already been brainwashed. So they're not going to believe
Well,
it.
yes, they do believe me. Many of them call, and when I do radio interviews, they'll call in and say, I went through all of that. I know exactly what you're talking about. And of course, the teachers know. And many teachers do not like that, did not ever want to do it. Behind closed doors, they did their own thing. Now they're not going to be able to get away with it because they're going to be required due to the standards that are being set and the accountability, the whole what's going on in Washington now with the reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. It's nothing but brainwashing. And people, you hear standards and accountability and flexibility, all of this. Basically, the goal has nothing to do with academics. It has to do with training little, as you said, little busy, little workers, little worker bees.
And that's all it's about, man. They're training you to be a better slave, a slave to their system. It's the same thing with the Christian church. You go into church, you've been going to church for 20, 30 years, and you know, they have this what's the word? They pretty much put a title on it and they call it the church, and that it is the church of God and the house of God. And you go there thinking that you're going to find the Most High when you've been in there for 20, 30 years and you never come close to finding the Most High, man. Right? They educate you on how to be a Christian by way of their society, man, and to think like them. It's the same thing with the education system, man. Right? They tell you you're going there to be educated and to be a better person when you don't know a fucking thing, man. When you get out of college, they give you a whole bunch of things throughout this education journey that you don't even use in the real world, man. So now they tell you you got to go to college, you got to get a degree, you got to get your master's in order to get in this field. Then you go to school and you go and you get the master's or the degree. And when you get out and you go to the job, they tell you you're overqualified. They have no positions, right? You got to go back to school to get in this field. It's all bullshit, man. It's a circus, right? And society is figuring it out now, man. Right? Society is figuring it out now. So these devils spent billions of dollars on this system to keep people dumbed down, indoctrinated, stupid, ignorant, and over all of that, proud in all of that, you know. And now there's a time that we're living in where people are, the everyday people, not all, but a lot of people are starting to realize that this whole fucking country is a joke. This whole country is a joke, man. And they're mad as hell. Right? They enslave you to the money system, right? The credit system. Then they puff up money to whereas if you don't have money, you're nobody. But if you have it, then you're somebody. But the reality of it is everybody's a person, but what category do you fit in? Right? You have three types of men. You got the sons of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got the sons of men, and you got the sons of the wicked. The sons of the wicked are Esau, Edom, all them devils you seen, Rockefeller, the Rothschilds. Those are the sons of the wicked. The sons of men are the other nations, so-called Chinese, Japanese, East Indian, African, Arabs, right? And then you got the sons of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who are the Israelites. And those that are the sons of the Most High are the only ones that matter to him. Everybody else, this is your blessing. Babylon. Your respective countries, wherever you at, your leaders, whatever. That's what you get. Right? You get this kingdom. Us, the Israelites, we got a better kingdom coming. A way better kingdom. Wherein dwelleth righteousness. And when we set our kingdom up, it's going to flourish in righteousness. It's not going to be none of this bullshit that you see going on, man. Because if it is, their ass is cut off, man. They're going to be put to death on the spot. On the spot, man. So this is a sign that this place is just circling the drain and is on its way down the toilet, man.
To have the right attitudes and values towards internationalism, giving up our sovereignty, the needs of the group versus the individual. You know, they have all the group grades now, and
Did they actually
cooperative
ever stop
learning.
talking about being a change agent, how to stop teaching people about basic civics, what the Constitution says, limitation of government? I mean, did they get into
No,
that?
I don't recall that, but I do know that I've seen I attend a lot of in-service things too, you know. So I've seen and heard, you know, how are we going to get away from, and that's in the book. Actually, there's a very interesting article in the New York Times in the early 70s about getting rid of the teaching of American history.
You're kidding.
Oh, no, not early 70s. New York Times article in the book. And it says that Yes. And we're not going to talk about George Washington anymore. We're going to focus on the world, because you have to get these world-minded students, or else they're going to rebel. If you want to put the Americans under a global management system or whatever it is, be very careful you don't teach them the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Don't let them have any history, because they are going to object when the system is taken away from them. But they won't now. You could take the Constitution away from the American people right now, and they wouldn't care, because they don't even know what it is. They don't know what it is. It protects them. It protects their rights. The reading problem. If you're so dumbed down, if you can't.
And what's happening now? The Constitution is being stepped on by these devils, man. They're not following the Constitution. You know how many things that are in this country that are illegal, that go against the Constitution, man? And it's been going on for decades. Huh? Child support, certain procedures you have to get done, right? Strip your life away, strip your rights away, telling you if you don't do this, you know, this is a crime, and you can't work, and all these draconian laws that they pushing in this country. A lot of them are against the Constitution, man. A lot of them.
Can't read. I've always said
taxes is another thing. The only people supposed to pay taxes are businesses and corporations, man. Big businesses. People, individuals are not supposed to pay taxes, man.
Can't defend yourself.
That's right.
You can't do anything. I mean, you are really at a tremendous loss. You are totally handicapped, worse than losing both legs if you can't read. They can take you right through the schools, 12 years without reading, just total brainwashing through visual, a lot of visual aids now with technology.
So they're trying to make people weaker readers?
Oh, of course. Yes, that's why they had the whole language for so long.
Which is what I always thought was very dumb.
Yeah, it is pretty dumb. I think that some teachers, a really good teacher with whole language and an understanding of the traditional phonics. I don't mean direct instruction, which is Skinner, the Skinner phonics, but a good teacher who understood phonics well could use a whole language program quite well, because there are some things about whole language I like, you know, where the children are really immersed in a lot of good literature. Sometimes it's not so good, and so it depends on the teacher. But anyway, the dumbing down was absolutely deliberate, and you don't even have to go through all of the documents that I have in my book, but just ask yourself, why is it that last week the Senate voted in the House on the reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and it comes to something like, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's I think it's $100 billion. It's $100 billion a year. And we have children who can't. We're at the bottom of the list internationally, academically, and we're spending $100 billion. We will be, because it's reauthorized for 7 years. It's not quite that.
Okay, I am not trying to fearmonger you, but I was an assistant principal, I was a middle school teacher, and I was a high school teacher. And I need you to know America's in a literacy crisis, and they're not making a big enough deal about it. Our children cannot read. Our children cannot read, let alone writing a paragraph, let alone comprehension. They cannot read. They do not know how to sound words out. They were not taught that. And if you're wondering, well, then why does my kid just keep getting passed on to the next grade? Because that's what they're doing now. They're not holding the children back. They're moving them on. They're graduating them, knowing that your child is illiterate. Our next change makers, our next lawmakers, our next voters cannot read. I beg of you, take the tablets and the cell phones away. Practice letter recognition and sounds and reading with your child, please. And I'm going to keep it a stack with you. They been knew. They been knew the babies couldn't read and didn't care. You know when they started caring? After the pandemic.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the mind. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem.
But see, this is the system that we under, man. This wicked, demonic ass system where it's just to serve them. Everybody's being conditioned and being brought up to serve the elites by ways of slaves, man. They don't care if you can't read or write. Long as you can work for them and make them some money. To hell, even if you could be a damn criminal and they lock you up, you're still working for them, man. Long as you can do that, they good with it. They okay. They okay with it, man. They don't give a damn. But you see, Jake cares about, especially, other Jake kids. He cares about if they can read or write. Right? He cares about that, man. You can see this brother right here. He cares. This makes him, upset. And he got a whole bunch of emotions he's dealing with, man. He's angry. He's upset. He's sad. He's frustrated. All these things, man. Because he said the kids were 17 and 18 years old and they couldn't even fill in 4 words. Right? This place has you, and excuse my language, man, but it has you in a mind fuck, where, you can't think on one thing, man, because you got 20 other things that's going on in your head to where you can't sit down and map things out and figure things out. You always on the go. Now, more so than ever, man. Because for one, the Lord is speeding up the days. The Lord said if he didn't come back, there will be no flesh to save, man. Right? So this is why the Lord is speeding up the days, because Babylon the Great is about to be completely burnt the hell up, man. And it needs to be. If this is not a slap in your face to let you know that this place got to go, I don't know what else is going to take, man. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that have made all the earth drunken by what? His philosophy, his setup, his traps. It said, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, because now everybody is seeing what Babylon the Great America is all about. It's all about deceit. It's all about robbery. It's all about backstabbing. It's all about murder, death, destruction, right? It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one unto his own country. For her judgments reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies, man. So the judgments, right, and the sin of Babylon has reached all the way up to the heavens, man. Right? So this place has to go. It is going to go. See, people got, like I said earlier, the bread and circus, so they feel like they don't need nothing else. As long as they got money, they don't need nothing else. Right? Long as a woman got a nice body and a cute face, that's all she needs. A man, long as he got money, that's all he needs. Right? Nobody cares about having wisdom. Nobody cares about, having understanding and knowledge. Nobody cares about that, man. But the Lord said this, right? Because we're in the last days, man. Isaiah 33:6. For wisdom, Salakia, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Wisdom and knowledge is going to be the only thing that is going to keep you stable in these last days, man. Everything else is null and void. It says, and strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure, the elect, man. Lord willing, I'm of that number. We fear the Lord, man. So we pray we're going to obtain the amount of wisdom and knowledge that we need in order to keep us stable in these times to come. Because this world and the wisdom of it is done. You can see it through this video. It's all been set up. It's all a trap. It's not to make you better or smarter or educated. It's to dumb you down. It's to keep you as a slave, keep you on a certain level, so that way you don't know shit, but you know this, but you don't know that. Right? So people don't care about wisdom and knowledge no more. All it is everything is material and physical. It's not emotional, and everybody's bugging the hell out, man. Everybody's bugging the hell out. Back to Jeremiah 51 and verse 10. It says, the Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power, because Zion is the Israelites, man. Verse 11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up a spirit of the kings of the Medes, right? The Iranians, and who's at war with Babylon right now? Iran. It says, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple, man. So the Lord is going to destroy this place. There's nothing you can do. And these devils, everything that they cooked up, the scriptures tell you the works, when the wicked are destroyed, all the works of theirs is destroyed with them, man. I believe it's in Psalms. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, these devils, when they go, everything goes with them. And us, as the Israelites, we're going to be renewed. We're going to get new bodies. We're going to get a new spirit in us, man. And it's going to be a spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And that's all we going to need. We're not going to need this bullshit, dumbed down ass education system that Esau Edom is pushing out, man. Where our kids ain't learning nothing, man. Because these kids are more demonic, when they go to school, when they get out the house. This is why it's important, like the sister said earlier in this lesson that you heard of, read with your kids. Get them off the tablets and the phones, because everything on the tablets and the phones is pretty much entertainment. You got some good on there, but the kids ain't with that. So you got to be more in tune with your kids, you know, and what they look at and what they eat up as far as their spirit, man. You know, I know it may be a little hard, but you gotta do better, right? So, yeah, man, this place is on its way out. I got one more. We're gonna shut it down.
And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning if it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, and they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls oh, God.
And you heard it, man. It's crazy.
You want to know?
You know, when you go right here in the beginning, the brother said, you can't tell me that humans are under mind control because it was all foggy, it was smelling like plastic, and the sun was being covered. And, you know, people just like, come on, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me, man. People walking around like it ain't, you know, ain't nothing going on. But this is why this place is going to be destroyed, man. This is my last one. Revelation 18:2. It says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. It's fallen and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, man. So you got all types of spirits in Babylon. All types. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Yeah, everybody, you know, ate off of this plate, man. Everybody. It says, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Yeah, trading, you know, selling, buying. People have gotten rich off Babylon the Great, man. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. So it's not everybody. This is only the people of the Lord, which are the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. The Lord is telling you to come out of this place spiritually, man. Right? It says, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Because which one of the plagues? The ultimate plague is this place being burned to hell up, man. Right? But before that, the Lord is going to plague this earth with famine, destruction, fires, crisis, civil war, race wars, all types of things, man. Death, destruction, right? It says, verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High Power have remembered her iniquities, man. All the things that came out of this devil's mouth, all the traps and all of the setups that this devil has set up, the Lord remembers it all, man. All the death, destruction, right? Verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double, man. So these devils going to get double for all their evil. All of it, man. They're not going to get away with this. These devils are stupid and they're dumbed down. If they think that they're going to get away with everything that they have done, man. Right? Verse 7. How much ye have glorified ourselves. Yes, we are the top nation. everybody should bow down to us. We are the golden cup, right? We are the cream of the crop, right? It says, how much you have glorified ourselves and lived deliciously. Yes, gotten very rich. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna touch me. Nobody wouldn't dare attack America. But all that's about to change, buddy boy. You know who you in cahoots with, man. You know who you at war with. Them Carmanians, man. Right? Them Medes. Right? Them Persians. And they already vowed that American citizens was going to feel the same pain that Iranian citizens feel, man. Right? So something's definitely going to hit this place. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And we are in that day right now. We are in that day. It says, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. So, yeah, man. The Lord is fixing to judge Babylon the Great for all its iniquities and its ongoing hatred for the Israelites, man. So, hey, this is a sign, man. This place is done. Right? This has been stick a fork in Babylon. She and her inhabitants are done. Call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson. Shalom.